realize what time it is? Where have you been?
Just out riding.
Blood.
I got a nosebleed.
You sneak in at this hour of the morning with blood on your clothes, and you expect me to swallow any excuse you happen to think of? What have you been up to?
Nothing.
You've just been riding around all by yourself until 3 o'clock in the morning. Where'd this blood come from? What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
You're so ashamed of something that you had to hide it.
Dad.
As a corporation attorney, I rarely visit a home on business. But Martin Reeves had called to cancel an important appointment this morning at my office. I needed some financial information and his signature urgently. So I suggested I stop by on my way to the office.
Morning, Martin. Morning, Herb. Your paper, sir? Thanks.
I'm sorry to bother you at home like this, but I've uncovered some expenditures in your financial statement that could be questioned.
There's nothing in that statement that can't be accounted for.
Look, I'm not accusing you, Martin. All I'm saying is that if you want this merger to go through, your books had better be in order.
I'm sorry I barked at you, Herb. Where are you going, Paul?
Gotta go out for a few minutes, Dad.
You get back to your room.
Dad, I've got to go.
Get back to your room!
Your father ever treat you like this, Mr. Maris?
That's just about enough now. Well, where were we?
Look, why don't you sign this power of attorney, Martin? We can postpone the rest. Why not drop into my office tomorrow?
All right, I guess you're right. I'm sorry to have caused you all this inconvenience, Herb.
No trouble. See you at the office, huh?
Sure. Paul, come down here.
Good morning. Well, you're up bright and early, Counselor. Business?
And you, Lieutenant?
Business.
An attempted holdup, it says. The watchman was shot by a young, unidentified hoodlum. Was it you? Well, was it?
I didn't shoot anybody.
Now, you listen to me. It's the police. You go to your room and you stay there.
Dad, I...
Go to your room! Yes?
Mr. Reeves, I'm Lieutenant Weston, Police Department.
Huh? Well?
There's a brown convertible outside, tagged MSV 258, registered to a Paul Reeves.
Yes, he's my son. Why, is anything wrong?
What time did he get home last night?
About 11:30. Why?
I'd like to talk to him.
He isn't here just now. He's out.
Oh? Where?
Well, I don't know exactly. He's somewhere in the neighborhood. What's this all about,
Well,
Lieutenant?
just a routine investigation. Look, when he shows up, tell him to wait. I'd like to talk to him.
think that this gun makes you a man? Makes you a common hoodlum like your cheap friends.
You don't know my friends.
Don't I? I know what they're capable of. It's on the front pages every day. Violence, indecency, and you're no better.
All right. It's my worry, not yours.
That's not my worry. You dare to say that? You realize that within 48 hours, a room full of people are going to meet? Half of them I don't even know. They're going to try to decide whether or not I'm capable of running their business? After I've worked all my life trying to build up a reputation based on public trust? You say it's not my worry? Where do you think that car of yours came from? Your clothes? Your food? You know? Or just sit there and think about it for a while? I'll try to figure out some way to get you out of this.
Dad, it's not what you think.
No, there's no time for apologies, Paul. We've got to work fast. When's the last you might have been seen last night?
About midnight, the beach arcade.
Who saw you there?
Choppy, the owner.
That's where we'll try to establish your alibi. Now listen, when the police come, Paul, you tell them you left the arcade at 11. By 11:30, you were back home. No matter what happens, you stick to that. Understand?
Mr. Maris, Lieutenant Weston's in the office,
Oh,
but
good.
there's
Tell him to wait outside.
Well, tell the council I'd be delighted to wait.
Why don't you do your waiting here?
Mr.
Thanks.
Maris,
Excuse me, Miss Brent. I'm in a hurry. Would you mind telling me what you were doing at the Reeves place?
No. Reeves is a client of mine. We were negotiating a merger. Why were you there? Anything serious?
Oh, serious enough. Shooting, and it looks like his son's involved.
Paul? Oh, I know the boy. A shooting scrape just doesn't fit him.
Mr. Maris,
Just a moment. Lieutenant, are you sure you're not mistaken?
I'm not sure of anything yet. Are you representing him?
No, my relation with Reeves is purely on a corporate
Well,
level.
that's all I wanted to know.
Wait a minute. What about the shooting?
I'll fill you in on that later. Good day, Miss Brent.
goodbye.
Yes, Miss Brent, what is it?
Well, just that Martin Reeves has been trying to reach you on the phone. He says it's terribly important, that's all.
Oh, well, maybe you'd better call him back.
No problem.
Yes, Martin, what is it?
Charlie, I sent all that information to you last week.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sit down, huh? I'll get back to you later on it. Bye. Counselor, I thought you were involved with a merger problem.
Let's not be coy, Lieutenant. Why are you holding Paul Reeves?
I'm convinced the boy's got some answers, but he won't part with them.
Paul's being uncooperative? That's hard to believe.
Well, you be the judge yourself. Last night about midnight at the Remick Plastics Corporation, the watchman surprised a guy trying to break into the office. Now, before he could reach the alarm, he was down with a bullet in him.
Dead?
No, he's still alive. He said he fired back. He's not sure of a hit. He's not sure he could identify the guy. He knows he was a young man, and that's all. Now, another witness saw a young man run across the street with a gun in his hand, and he jumped into a brown convertible and drove away. That was tagged something B-258.
And something B-258 turned out to be.
At the Reeves home, registered to Paul Reeves.
Lieutenant, I'd like to talk to Paul. Paul, you must admit Lieutenant Weston has a problem. Well, doesn't he?
All I know is that I left the beach arcade at 11 and I was home by 11:30.
Aren't you even curious about your car?
Obviously, it was borrowed or stolen.
But you did lend it out.
No. It must have been stolen.
But it was returned. How do you explain that? It would indicate an acquaintance, wouldn't it? Paul, how old were you when your mother died?
13.
5 years. Sometimes it's been pretty tough, hasn't it? Like with your father this morning.
Sometimes.
Your father works pretty hard, doesn't he? His business takes up most of his time and energy. Recently, it's been taking all his time. He doesn't get a chance to know your friends very well, does he?
Mr. Maris, he doesn't want to. He just...
How well do you know your friends, Paul?
Mr. Maris, I've told the police all I can. Now, I don't know why they're keeping me here.
When I came in here, I believed in you. Now, well, frankly, now I'm not so sure.
Well, Counselor?
Lieutenant, has it occurred to you that someone else, a friend, may have borrowed Paul's car?
Yes, and it also occurred to me it's not going to do that kid any harm to sit in there and think about withholding facts.
Or maybe he doesn't have facts. Maybe it's just suspicions.
Lieutenant Weston. Fast work, Ed, thanks. Facts, Counselor. A gun just turned up on a city trash truck at the dump. It's a reassembled job and it can't be traced. But it was wrapped in a shirt with the labels torn out. And it had a laundry mark that could be traced. That shirt belonged to Paul Reeves.
With the new evidence against his son, I needed to talk to Martin Reeves. He was badly shaken by the discovery of the gun wrapped in his son's shirt. But he seemed more angry than frightened.
Well, how can they be so sure that it was Paul's shirt?
The police have ways.
Paul can account for his time.
Even so, the facts have to be
Oh,
reconciled.
facts. He left that arcade at 11 o'clock at night. By 11:30, he was here at home. According to newspapers, the murder took place after midnight. If you want facts, there's one. Answer that, please.
Hello?
Is Paul home?
Who's calling?
Can I talk to Paul, please?
I'm sorry, who's calling?
Tell him it's Jean.
What's it about, Jean?
I've got to talk to Paul. Terribly important. Is he there?
No, but if you'll tell me what this is all about, I... Hello? Hello? It's a girl named Jean. Wants to talk to Paul.
Well, it's probably one of that arcade gang down at the beach.
Arcade? That's what that noise was. Arcade.
Where are you going?
To find that girl. I want to find out if she knows anything about what happened last night.
Well, like I say, these kids are not exactly friends. They're more like family. They come to me with all their troubles. They say, Choppy, I need a
Did you know Paul Reeves?
Paul Reeves? Sure. Like I told the cops, he left here at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, yeah. Max gets off at work at 11:15. Yeah, 11 o'clock, right on the dot. Why, what's up?
There was an attempted robbery last night just after midnight. A man was shot.
Shot?
He may die.
Well, they never said nothing about that.
A girl by the name of Jean made a telephone call from here just a few minutes ago. Did you happen to notice?
Jean. Yeah, Jean, she's here. There she is, right there, standing by the jukebox. Jean Sturman.
Ever seen her with Paul before?
Look, I see all the kids with other kids. You know how it is. They go with each other. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. The kids themselves don't know what they want.
But you have seen them together.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
And how was it, on or off?
Look, I don't want to make no trouble for anybody. I know all the kids. Jean's a nice
The
kid.
man was shot.
Okay, so it was on. Look, don't tell old man Reeves about this. He wouldn't like it.
You know Mr. Reeves?
Reeves? No. But you see, Paul comes to me with all his troubles. He tells me he's got to sneak out of the house. Imagine that, a nice kid like that.
Thanks. Is there anything here you'd particularly like?
Look, mister, I'm not interested. So you can save your nickels.
Look, you've got the wrong idea.
Look, mister, I told you I wasn't interested, so get lost.
Your name is Jean, isn't it? Gene Sturman.
Who are you?
My name is Maris. I'm a lawyer, a friend of Paul's.
A lawyer?
Paul's in jail. I can't help him until I find out exactly what happened last night. And he won't tell me.
Look, mister, now that I've been thinking it over, you know, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Now, I told the cops that the kid left here at 11 o'clock. But now that I think it over, I don't think it was 11 o'clock. I think it was much later. In fact, I know it was later. See, the joint was crowded. Now, I know exactly what it was. It was nearer to midnight, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care what Choppy said. He's a liar. He's a liar. I was home at 11:30. I left the beach arcade. I was home at 11. I was home.
Herb, here's that rundown on the Sturman girl.
Is this address current?
It's her aunt's place.
There's a brother, Jerry. Does he live there, too?
Yeah, mother died about a year ago. Father deserted. Herb, what happened here?
Nothing.
Nothing? What do you mean, nothing? The kid was crying. You broke him down, huh?
No, I didn't. But I can tell you this. His alibi's mighty shaky.
I could have told you that.
This may surprise you, Lieutenant, but I still think the boy is innocent.
Herb, let me get this straight. You admit his alibi sounds rigged? Does an innocent person rig an alibi? Ballistics has verified the gun. The shirt it was wrapped in was his, with the labels ripped out. On top of that, he's been stubborn, evasive, and uncooperative.
Well, that's the point. I know the boy. It's out of character for him.
Herb, I've been holding off booking the kid. But if you don't come up with something a little more tangible than intuition mighty fast, your next visit to him will be in a jail cell.
Miss Sturman, can I talk to you? I'm Paul Reeves' father. Can I talk to you, please? Please. I know that you were with Paul last night.
Look, Mr. Reeves.
Please, don't say anything. I don't want to know what happened. My only interest is in helping Paul. Have you talked to anyone?
No, I wouldn't do a thing like that.
Well, you may be forced to if the police find you. And they will if you stay here. You better go somewhere. Get out of town.
I've got to see him.
Listen, the only way you can help Paul is by leaving town. Believe me, if this thing hits the papers, please.
But
If you care for him at all.
Oh, if you'd only let me just say something.
Here, you'll need some money.
But
Believe me, it's the best thing. I know. I don't like your attitude, Herb. I think you're getting pretty high-handed about all this.
You forced your son to throw away his self-respect to protect your reputation.
That's a lie.
No. I submit that Paul came home after midnight with a gun, that you branded him guilty, and that every move you've made since then has deepened his guilt in the eyes of the law.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, don't you? Would an innocent man hide a gun in his shirt and get rid of it on a trash truck? Rip the label out of the shirt so it couldn't be traced? Bribe an arcade owner to supply a phony alibi, then cling to the alibi after it had been proved absurd? That's the way you've made your son look in the eyes of the law. I further submit that Paul couldn't even tell the truth now without incriminating his father.
Everything I've done for Paul.
No, Martin, you've done it for yourself. Your boy needs love and honesty from you, not alibis. Tell me one thing straight. What did you find out from Gene Sturman?
I paid her to leave town.
Why?
Well, I didn't want to implicate Paul.
You've probably gotten rid of the one witness that can clear them all. Get me Lieutenant Weston. Maybe we can still catch her.
If there's anything that I can...
Hello, Lieutenant. This is Herb Maris. I want you to do something very important for me.
Herb, I've been trying to find you.
It's about Gene Sturman.
We just went over to her place to question her. She left bag and baggage. She left in the cab and we traced her.
I want to go with you.
Is this where she's supposed to have gotten out?
Yeah, that's the report we got from the cab driver.
She must have met somebody here.
Herb. I'll have the area covered in 15 minutes.
You're gonna be all right, Jerry, as soon as we get you to a hospital. Jerry, did you hear me? I got the money. It's gonna be okay.
Did you get the gun? Huh? Did you get the gun?
Yeah, I got it like you said.
All right, where is it?
It is out there.
Get the gun. Get the gun.
Don't touch him. Leave him alone. I'll take care of my brother.
Like this, by letting him bleed to death?
We'll get out of this. Jerry? Jerry?
I gotta see a doc, Jeannie.
We'll get to a doc, Jerry. It'll be all right. Whatever we gotta do to get out of here, we're gonna do.
And leave Paul holding the bag, after all he's done for you.
What's Paul done? He was supposed to get a doctor. What did he do, leave Jerry down here to die?
Paul's in jail. There's nothing else he can do. You know that.
He could have sent a message or something.
He was afraid to reveal your identity. He wanted to protect you.
So Paul's in jail. Well, I'm not worried about him because his old man will get him out.
Why did he get involved in a robbery?
Because I asked him to.
Jeannie, don't tell him anything.
You mean your brother lost his nerve and Paul had to finish the job?
He didn't. Paul didn't even know what was going on. He wasn't even near there.
But Paul had a gun.
Jerry dropped it. And Paul went back to get it to protect Jerry because I asked him to. I thought he would get there in time to stop him. But it was too late.
Something more tangible than intuition, Lieutenant?
Considerably. Paul, you withheld evidence, which is a felony. But because of the extenuating circumstances, I don't think the DA will push it. Would you mind standing over there? But you, Mr. Reeves, petty bribery and obstructing justice. A man like you. We'll get a conviction.
I deserve it. I'll push for a suspended sentence. You've got a boy to take care of.
Herb, will you talk to Paul for me? Try to explain.
Why didn't you talk to him yourself?